I think the network got fined. I don't know. It might have been. It was plenty.
It's pretty harsh. I might have to YouTube it just to jog my memory. But
yeah, sure.
The colour of the Gatorade.
You'd have it in a screensaver, wouldn't you?
The colour of the Gatorade that will be thrown over the winning coach is another marker we've got. We've got clear/water as favourite, $2.85. Yellow Gatorade, $3. Orange Gatorade, $4. Blue, green, and red, $7.50. And then we've got who will win the Super Bowl. Who will win the Super Bowl MVP of the game? Thank first. So who will they thank? Teammates, $2.75.
No.
Does not thank anyone, $3.25. I'd be happy to lay that. They will thank
What about
somebody.
someone upstairs?
God, $3.25.
$3.25 for God. That's good value. Has he got the drifts, has he?
Have you got Disney World in there?
Family is $9. Coach is $11. Owner is $15. They're the markets for the...
You've left out Jesus.
God and Jesus, the Holy Trinity is all one.
You're combining
the Holy
God
Trinity
with
is
Jesus.
one. But more importantly,
Wow.
we should, I guess, at some stage go through the real markets.
Yep.
Would you mind?
The market for the game is, and this has been a solid market for the listeners who are punting focused. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest betting events in the world all year round. So to move a Super Bowl market takes a lot of money. Baltimore have been $2.58 and pretty solid. The 49ers were $1.53. They did come into $1.52 and back out to $1.53. The line there is 3.5 points, with Baltimore $1.96 for 3.5 points, and the 49ers are $1.87 for 3.5 points. And a really big betting prop for NFL, as we've discussed all year on Betstars and Stripes, is the overs and unders line. That means the total points combined by the two teams. Please.
I would say your line will be mid-40s, 46, something like that.
So the line is 47.5 into 47.
Okay.
So it's into 47
so you've got
now.
that flat line again, have you?
We've got that flat line, Doc, just to agitate you.
Yeah.
I like agitating, and so therefore we've gone up with the flat line again. But
you introduce another flat line, I may flat line.
Steer us into a winner, Doc. You followed it very closely. You've been in good form. You've heard the markets from Al.
Yeah.
Which way are you leaning? In
Well, I just think it's a mouth-watering game, to be honest. You know, when you've got an outstanding defence that the 49ers have, with these wonderful wide receivers of Baltimore, you know, your Torrey Smith and Anquan Bolden and Ray Rice. I love little Ray Rice.
Did you meet Torrey Smith during the week?
Terrell, yes, I did.
You spent 20 minutes with him, you told me in the text message?
I did, and the nicest young fella you'd ever want to meet. And interesting, because it was just outside the media time, which was 10:15 to 11:30, where players were available to everybody. I just got him on the outside and started talking to him, then said, would you mind if I started recording this? And before he answered, a media minder came over and said, no recording. You had till 11:30 to do that.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So
you're late, in other words, Doc.
Who would have thought there's one at odds?
No, I was actually there throughout the entire press conference, but I didn't want to embarrass myself by asking a stupid question.
Like last year.
Doesn't bother some people, Craig, but it bothered me.
So you give them a chance, the Ravens?
No, I don't. No, I think the 49ers are good things.
It's an interesting game. Like, I mean, the great thing about the NFL and American sport in general is the theatre that goes around it. And every Super Bowl, we sit there and talk about the theatre. Now, you've got the brothers coaching this year. You've got Ray Lewis, you know, in his much publicised journey, and they keep just getting over the next hurdle. We keep saying they can't win this game, and they do. And then we say, no, they can't beat New England, and they do. I think everyone's saying it again this time. I'm just not convinced. I just reckon that I think Baltimore with a 3.5 point start, I actually like that. I reckon they'll get there or get close.
It comes down to these wide receivers. Actually, remember we talked about Torrey Smith the day after. Remember he played the day after his brother got killed in that motorcycle accident. And so I've sort of been following the Ravens all season. They've had such an up and down season, and they were gone. They were shot, completely gone halfway through the year. I think they lost 3 or 4 in a row. But, you know, they got Suggs back and the big man Ray Lewis and got their season back on track, Craig.
Yeah, they didn't get a lot of continuity out of Reed, who's their sensational cornerback as well, who's come into a bit of form late in the year. Flacco's the other one. I mean, Flacco really didn't light it up, did he, during the home and away?
Yeah.
He was slow to warm up. The queries about him, I mean, he put himself on the record very early in the preseason. He said, I belong in the best quarterback discussion in the competition. He was pillared through the competition.
I keep harking back to the fact that Denver game with Baltimore, I mean, it was just an absolute thievery that they won that game. And
the fling, as they call it now. The fling at the end.
Yeah,
what about
if he scores? So I've just read this statistic here. So Flacco, who, as you said, has been under a lot of pressure, but has really stood up this playoff series or the playoff journey. If he scores a touchdown in the Super Bowl, he'll join Joe Montana and Steve Young as the only quarterbacks with 9 or more touchdowns and not a single interception.
Steve Young got 3 of them, didn't he?
It's sensational. He's also, I think, the only quarterback who's played in every postseason that he's ever been in. Like, he's 5 for 5, so too Harbaugh, his coach. So their record is terrific together, and particularly with the way they can run the ball with Ray Rice, who's a real weapon.
So why don't we go through the MVP market as well?
Man, Ray Rice.
Yeah,
he is tiny.
He's tough, though, isn't he?
But, you know, the one thing I also, just before El comes in with these markets, watching all these press conferences, Craig, how wonderful their players are with the media, the players themselves.
Yep.
You know, I'm sitting there at the end of the conference. I mean, these guys have been there for an hour and a half, and one outlet after another one, drilling them, filming them, photographing them, interviewing them, putting microphones under their noses. But they kept the same positive, friendly, amiable, amicable sort of...
it's a cultural thing, isn't it, Doc?
It was. I'm not saying the AFL guys don't do that either.
I am. I'm saying that they're not nearly as willing to do that. I reckon that if I've been to anything press-related with the AFL, 80% of the time, I reckon, there's some players that are good with it, but 80% of the time, I reckon it's almost as though they're doing you a favour by giving you their time.
The whole competition's got it wrong in Australia.
I
agree with you, plus
You've been saying this for years. I'm agreeing with you, plus some. Is that what he just said?
Yeah. Well, I did say 80%, so 20% to move to add 20% on there.
And it's not necessarily the AFL players' fault. It's the environment that they live in and the way they're taught.
It's the culture. You've been talking about this for years, and I agree with you 100%. What is going to change that culture?
It has to be legislated. Like the NFL have got rules. Like if you hadn't turned up to media day on Friday or Thursday, you'd be fined $100,000.
But I reckon it's deeper than that, Craig, because what ends up happening is some of it is legislated and the players show up, but they do it begrudgingly. They don't want to be there.
But when you start doing it every day like they do here, you work out pretty quick that it makes your life easier. And it works. There's no misconception as to how you're perceived. And controversies distinguished in 2 hours. The thing just works. It's like life. It's sit down with people and talk through issues.
One of the 49 players at the press conference the other day, I can't remember who it was, actually said that he preferred it when Alex Smith was the quarterback.
Wow.
Now you imagine that happening back home. It would
unthinkable.
It would be a week of stories.
So this is a quote from Alex Smith now in relation to that. It's his response to a question on dealing personally with being a backup quarterback role. And this is how good they respond to these questions. I just continue to work. The starting lineup is something I just can't decide. I play football, and for me, that role has changed. I've taken that role on, and I just have to stay ready for this team, just in case anything happens. Also, during practice, I'm giving good looks and helping our defense get ready for the opponent. I want to help this team any way I can. I take that job seriously. It's not necessarily what I want, but this is a great team. There's something special going on here, and I've really enjoyed it.
We're going to take a break. The great Takeo Spikes, who's a linebacker for the San Diego Chargers, just going to do NBC. He's going to come over and talk to us in about 10 minutes. So looking forward to catching up with one of the characters of the NFL. A break from New Orleans, Louisiana. This is Betstars and Stripes right across the nation. This is a special edition from the Super Bowl of Betstars and Stripes, the road to the Super Bowl. And earlier on this week, I was lucky enough to catch up with some of the San Francisco 49ers, including Will Tofiaku, Anthony Dixon, the running back, and Brian Jennings, and here's what they had to say. Here on Media Day with Will Tukuafu. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, that's pretty close. Tukuafu.
It's a Samoan background, right? Of course, massive.
Tongan background.
Tongan, off to a good start. Yeah, Polynesian. Great Polynesian community in Australia. Everyone will be behind you this Sunday in what's going to be a massive Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're excited, not even just for our team, but for the Polynesian community. We have Isaac Sopuanga and Mike Upati, 2 Samoans on our team, and 2 Tongans on the other team, and Make and Kim Watu and Halotinata. So it's huge. It's huge for us, man. It's huge for our families. It's huge for our culture. And just to be on this kind of stage is an honor.
Growing up as a kid, did you ever expect to be on the biggest stage here at the Superdome on this weekend for Super Bowl 47?
No, not really. I mean, you always dream about stuff like this, when you're playing with your friends and stuff, watching the Super Bowl and stuff. Like, man, I hope one day I can play in the Super Bowl. So fortunate enough to be here and just, trying to take it all in and prepare for this weekend.
Did I read somewhere you come from a big family?
Oh, I got a huge family. I got 10 brothers and 5 sisters.
10 brothers and 5 sisters?
Yeah, I think I have more, but I got a huge family, And,
how did you go for getting them all tickets?
The tickets are limited, so, thank goodness for TV and stuff like that will help out a lot.
What number are you in the 16? 10 brothers and 5
I'm number 15, so I'm one of the younger ones.
Wow, that's incredible. When it's just commonplace for you to be in a big family, you grew up thinking this is what everyone's like, has big Christmas parties and Christmas dinners?
Oh, yeah, it's huge, And it's common for most of Polynesian families and stuff like that to have a large amount of kids and stuff like that, And family is a big part of our culture,
This team build here at San Francisco happened so quick. Only 2 years ago, the team was struggling. Different pieces. The quarterback's only come in 8 weeks ago. It must be a bit of a dream come true and a bit of a blur how much progress has been.
What we do every day is we just strive to get better. You know what I mean? And this is my 3rd year, so my first year, we went home early. We didn't even make it to the playoffs. And so it was kind of the common culture around here that, just get through the 16 games and you get ready for the offseason. But last year we had a little spark going and momentum going into this year, and just, the idea was just come in and work and just not worry, and we'll just let everything else take care of itself. What would it mean to you and your people this weekend to win? Huge. Honor. It's kind of like a one way that we can pay our respects to our families, our parents for the sacrifices they've made. My parents migrated here to the U.S. from the island of Tonga, and I think in 78 or 79, and they worked as janitors. And so, you see that kind of sacrifice growing up, them vacuuming the floors, scrubbing the gym floors, and cleaning the bathrooms and stuff like that, and it just motivates me to, to just come and give my best, because if I don't give my best, it's just like me just telling my parents I didn't really appreciate their sacrifices. So it's an honor for me to be out here, and it's just a stepping stone and getting ready for this weekend.
I think everyone can relate to that story about family. Congratulations. Have you got a message for your Australian fans to finish with?
Just always strive for your dreams. You never know what could happen. Just keep trying and working hard at what you want to do, and have a lot of faith, and the Lord will bless you.
Will, congratulations.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
With running back Anthony Dixon, what a dream is this to come true for you? It becomes this weekend Super Bowl XLVII.
Oh, man, it's great, man. Like, everybody know, as a kid, you dream about this moment, man. You just sit at home and you watch it so many times on TV. You watch the celebration, you watch everybody going, and now it's our turn. So you just got to attack.
As a kid playing college in Mississippi, running back, working your way through the college ranks, did you ever think you'd make it to the big stage?
I mean, yeah, I did. Actually I did. I sat in my room a lot of times and I was like, I want to get to the Super Bowl. I really want to be in the Super Bowl. I'm definitely not out there just for nothing. I want to win games. I want to be a winner. So I did.
You've got the famous haircut. It's sensational. What's your inspiration for that? And how would you describe it?
I would describe it as being different, but inspiration for it was, I don't know, I just was sitting there and I was like, I want to do something different, and I did it.
You're permanently happy. Have you ever had a bad day in your life?
Yeah, I have, but my thing is, not to dwell on the bad days. I try to keep the energy up, keep my attitude positive and just keep moving on.
The running dynamics changed at San Francisco, not only with Gore having a great season again, but Colin Kaepernick coming in late, who runs as well as throws. How has it changed in the last 8 weeks for you?
The fact that we know we're going to run it more. That's the only thing that really changed. We just knew we was going to run it more.
How about for you?
For me, nothing really changed. You just have to study and know what we got to do.
How big a moment is this for your family on the weekend, given all they've supported over the years?
It's big. Everybody back home is so excited. I can't even remember how many text messages I had after we won the NFC Championship game. Everybody's just excited. They want me to do good, and I want to do good. I definitely want to give them a great showing on Sunday.
How many tickets have you had to come up with?